I'm Jack Kruyne. Someone who inspired me as an artist is really the reason I'm a painter was a nun called Sister Thomasita. She was featured in Life magazine in the 30s and stuff, and she just totally changed the way I looked at art. When I went into school, I was very realistic and only, I figured abstract art. If you're doing abstract art, you can't draw. You're just not an artist. And so that was just the way I looked at it back then. I was young, I didn't know. And she kind of showed me how to look at things in a different way. How to, just enjoy the accidents that happen on a canvas. And sometimes the second shape that accidentally pops off of another shape, leave it. Maybe it's not realistic, but it's cool. And so I started, with her classes. I ended up taking her classes over and over again in college. And she allowed me to skip normal classes that I would have had to take to get my degree in order to take her painting class. So I took a painting class every semester and got out of some ceramic classes because I wasn't really into ceramics. And but she's absolutely the biggest influence on what I do and what I've done with my life. What does art mean to me? Well, I just like to make things that will make you happy because there's enough depression in the world. I like bright colors and just feel good type art. I don't really paint a lot of depressing things or draw depressing things like some people do. I just like real positive stuff. What I do with my style is I tend to take a shape. I started this with tissue paper, so I'd cut out a piece of tissue paper and I'd cut out the same tissue paper and just slide them apart a little bit and glue them to the canvas. And that would give you a kind of like a double vision of the image. So when you do a whole painting in tissue paper and then add the second layers, you get all these accidental shapes that kind of happen, and that's what a lot of my paintings have in them. So I'll do a painting in tissue paper and I'll just paint right over the tissue paper. And this is the product of that. My favorite part about being an artist is doing the art. Finishing a painting, or finishing a painting that has driven me crazy for months at a time, when you've worked on something and you just can't get the colors right and you have to keep redoing it. So all the paintings that I have in this exhibit are paintings that I did from vacations. Places I've gone. I've got some paintings from Europe. I've got some paintings from Frank Lloyd Wright's house, Falling Waters, from California over here. They're just places that I have visited in the past. So I took all those paintings that I had that common thing with and I kind of put them in here. I do a lot of digital art. It's something it's also something that I do, but I dabble in a little bit of everything in art. I'll do sculpture, I'll do, Illustrator types things. I just, whatever kind of moves me at the time, because I don't like to stay on one thing for a long time. I'll do a little bit of painting for a half hour, and then I might move over to the computer and I'll do some digital art. And the other day I worked on a art piece made of wood, just like excess wood that I had laying around the garage, and I started gluing it to a board and it turned out really cool. So a couple years ago I went to Falling Waters and was really inspired to do a painting of something about falling waters. And I'm a big Frank Lloyd Wright fan. I love Frank Lloyd Wright, and I think he just was a genius. I wish he had better materials to build houses with back then, but we just enjoyed the day at Falling Waters, and so I decided to do a painting, but I wanted to incorporate Frank Lloyd Wright's style of windows. So I wanted to combine his style with my style, and this is what I ended up doing. This right here is one of Frank Lloyd Wright's window designs that he uses on a lot of his houses. And through here is actually like a graphic element of falling waters, showing the river coming underneath, kind of like in my style and in his style. And I was really happy with it, that it turned out. It's a little bit different than the styles I was used to doing, but I was really happy with the way it turned out. People can view my work at my website, which is basically jackkruyne.com. It's divided into two sections. It's divided into the art section and the graphics section. If you're interested in viewing my exhibit, please stop by 88 North Main Street at Chagrin Arts and enjoy it.